Welcome to episode 13 of Match Monday. In honor of the World Championship starting this coming Saturday, I have decided to choose this match, David Taylor versus Kyle Dake in the NCAA Finals in 2013. Both of these wrestlers are world champions, and David Taylor has an Olympic title as well. If you have not already, please go ahead and thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications as it helps my channel out a great deal. Now, as of time of recording, this match took place about 10 years ago, and I had serious issues with the way that ESPN promoted this match all weekend. The big storyline pushed at the time was that Kyle Dake and David Taylor were friends that were going to wrestle in the NCAA Finals. This is a silly storyline. Many of the guys that wrestle every year know each other, have known each other for years. It's a dumb way to promote the match. The way it should have been promoted, in my opinion, was that these are the two best wrestlers, barring weight class, that are going to go at it head-to-head for an NCAA title. Dake obviously trying to make history with his fourth title in his fourth weight class, and Taylor is the returning Hodge Trophy winner. Taylor was an offensive juggernaut who could score points at will against almost anybody. Dake is a defensive master who seemed almost impossible to score on. However, none of this was mentioned, and if it was basically a footnote. So you have the two best wrestlers in the NCAA going at it at the same weight class, and ESPN goes with they're best buddies. So storylines aside, this is a great match and a strategic masterpiece by Dake, in my opinion. Also important to note for this match, this is the third time David Taylor and Kyle Dake have wrestled this season. Dake won both matches by 1 point. The first match was at the All-Star Classic, which doesn't count against your record, which is why David Taylor only has one loss going into this match. We are underway, and we're going through a little bit of a feel-out process here. Taylor is staying super low in his stance. He's very dynamic with his leg attacks. Dake comes in here with a hard club, and Taylor's going to reset his feet and ankle pick and catch Dake totally off guard to get the first takedown of the match. This is the first time in the 3 bouts that Taylor has been able to score on Dake. And you can see the emotion in Taylor's body language. He's bouncing around. He's super pumped about getting that takedown. Now, Taylor has mentioned in interviews that the adrenaline from this takedown, he wasn't able to control it the way he should have, and it actually drained him later in the match. Both David Taylor and Kyle Dake are prolific on the mat. You are not going to see much catch and release in this match because both guys feel that they could ride the other to earn that riding point or even work for near fall. Taylor's got his right leg in. Watch how he uses it to return Dake by slipping it in and tripping the other leg. Now he's going to a crab ride position. Dake is attacking Taylor's toe and trying to pull it all the way across his own body. In doing this, he's able to actually come up to a standing position and almost get a reversal with a single leg, but they go out of bounds. The ref awards one. Dake actually is going to challenge this call, but they are going to confirm that it was 1 point escape, not a reversal. This had to have been the first or second year with the challenge bricks. This is the last match of the night. Dake has 2 challenge bricks and Taylor has 1. However, these challenges are going to be a non-factor. Dake is going to lose this one. And we're going to get back to action here. Plenty of time left in the first period. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. The score is 2-1 in favor of David Taylor of Penn State. Now it's Dake getting super low in his stance, and he's obviously trying to avoid Taylor from picking his ankles again. Again, Taylor is super offensive. He loves to score a lot of points. He likes to win by large margins. Taylor is so dominant that he has actually pinned all 4 of his opponents in this tournament. In fact, the only wrestler to make it out of the first period with Taylor was the number 3 seed from Virginia Tech, and Taylor pinned him 25 seconds into the second period. So David Taylor's ability to get the legs and score is remarkable. We're getting a little bit more action going here now, and Taylor is getting to his collar tie, which is where he likes to generate a lot of his offense. He kind of goes collar and wrist. Dake is super well known for holding this great position and almost this square stance that he holds. The ref just kind of stalemated him because nothing was happening there, so we got to restart with about 1.5 minutes left in the first period. And watching this, I can tell that Taylor really is trying to push the pace, and Dake is slowing it down as much as he can. This is not to say that Kyle Dake is stalling. He just likes to work at a different pace than David Taylor. Dake kind of likes to lull his opponents to sleep and then attack out of nowhere and secure a quick takedown. Or Dake allows guys to take shots on him, and he's going to defensively pick them apart and end up coming up on top on most of the scrambles. Whereas Taylor has an attack rate and a pace that is just exhausting for guys to keep up with. He's also super prolific on top. He can turn anybody. It's kind of hard to remember thinking about David Taylor because he did become so dominant on his feet, but really in high school, David Taylor was more known for being an absolute beast in the top position. Thus far, outside of the first takedown, Dake has done a nice job of slowing Taylor down and not allowing him to get off so many attacks. Dake is going to club heavy with his left and attack a low single on his right side. Dake actually goes to his waterfall position and switches legs. Dake is going to look to hook Taylor's leg. Then Dake is going to try to elevate his own head to put Taylor's back towards the mat, but Taylor is awkwardly posting on his elbow and making this position very odd. Taylor goes to attack Dake's free ankle. This allows Dake to turn in, go to the far hip, and come up with a takedown to take the lead 3-2 with 15 seconds left in the first period. Both guys are well aware that this escape point here is huge, and Dake is really well known for his returns, but Taylor's doing a nice job stopping, but he does go to roll through and end up getting caught back on the mat, and he's not going to be able to get the escape, so Dake is going to go into the break 3-2. Dake picks bottom in the second, and I find this to be an interesting start. Dake really doesn't have much of a first move. He just kind of elbows in and tries to reach for hand control, and then he goes to this tripod. It's a non-factor here, but a guy like Taylor putting your hands in the bottom position like that, I would think he might eat him up, but obviously Dake was able to keep his hands free, and he ends up earning the escape rather easily against a prolific turner and rider like David Taylor. Taylor's going right back on offense. He's trying to pull on Dake's head and get to those ankles, and he does get to a low single right away, but Dake is able to pull him up to a seatbelt wizard. This is incredible defense. Taylor had Dake dead to rights, and they go out of bounds. I know it was really quick, but that was an unbelievable exchange of wrestling from the best offensive wrestler and the best defensive wrestler in the NCAA at this time. Now, as you watch this next exchange, look how Dake is controlling the inside. This is really going to slow David Taylor down. He's trying to win that wrist position on the left side, and he really can't. Dake is doing a great job of just kind of making that more of a fight than probably Taylor's used to. All the while, Dake had the inside tie on the other side, so Taylor really wasn't able to get anything going. And now Dake, again, is dropping down and blocking his legs, so Taylor can't get anything going from an initial contact. Really brilliant wrestling here we're seeing from Dake in the second period. You could tell this was part of his game plan from the beginning, that when Dake got the lead, he knew he was going to be able to shut down David Taylor's offense and had a plan for exactly what he needed to do to slow David Taylor down from the neutral position. Now, Taylor is winning the inside tie position, but Dake is winning the hand fight on the other side, which again is stopping Taylor from really getting anything going. Not many people have this ability against David Taylor to even control one side on his ties because he has so much power when he is moving you around out there. And you can see he's even pushing Dake around. He's getting Dake to the edge, and Dake is doing everything he can to stay off that line to not get hit for stalling. And Dake just did one of the best moves we're all taught, is keep your butt to the center. He just circled his butt in to keep the referees off of him. And while Taylor continues to march forward and is trying to get something going, Dake is just eating up clock. There's only about 5 seconds left in the second period now, so they're going to go into the third with Dake leading 4-2. And Taylor is immediately going to take bottom. Off the whistle, Taylor goes Granby roll, but Dake follows him perfectly. Dake slaps in a real shallow half, but Taylor's going to be able to get to his feet, and Dake is really well known for these returns, and he's able to bump Taylor back down to the mat, but Taylor's coming right back up. You can see Dake posturing to try to get in front to get that big lift going, but he's really not able to get Taylor up in the air, so he just pulls him back. And it looks like he's just trying to pull him back into like a crab ride tilt, and I think Dake at that point knew he was close to the line and that they would probably go out of bounds. So we restart again, and Dake again is going to slap in this shallow half, and Taylor has no problem getting to his feet. It's just getting the hand control and a nice cut through that's Taylor's problem right now. He goes to almost Granby again, but just puts himself back down, and he's working right back up. Dake is really working hard to earn this riding point, and he is putting a lot of pressure on Taylor, pressuring forward to break him back down. Dake is super well known for his lift and returns, and the fact that he cannot lift and return Taylor just shows how good of a competitor David Taylor is in the bottom position and how much work this really is for a guy like Kyle Dake to ride David Taylor. They go out of bounds, so we have another reset. Dake has about 20 seconds of riding time, and he's working to get that up over a minute. This is where Dake really changes his game plan and starts swinging Taylor backwards to land back on top. Now, this is not typically what we recommend in wrestling. This is really way out of the box, and I think Dake just kind of started trying it and figuring that even if he got reversed, he'd be able to get away. Dake is really just popping his hips and rolling backwards with that half, hoping to maybe catch Taylor on his back with the half Nelson. Dake is generating a ton of offense with that half, though. You could tell he's pressuring Taylor's head down to the mat and keeps working on it. They hit him for stalling in the top position. I agree with that call. While Dake is doing a ton to stay on top of Taylor, he is riding to ride. He is doing nothing to try to turn David Taylor to his back. This period in particular for NCAA wrestling was kind of a sad period because they really did not hit guys on top for riding to ride, and you saw a ton of it, and it was super boring. It was not fun wrestling. Dake does not change his tactics one iota, and Taylor is starting to get frustrated. He tries another roll through, and Dake is able to follow again, and he has cleared that 1 minute of riding time and is building, continuing to build, and now Taylor crawls out of bounds, and Dake's looking for that stall call for Taylor crawling out of bounds. We have another restart here. Taylor is going to tripod again, and he's coming up, and this time Dake goes to a trapped arm, and somehow he loses his balance a little bit or footing, and Taylor is able to escape, and they are neutral 4-3, but Dake does have riding time. Taylor has 19 seconds to work. He would have to get a takedown and a ride out to put this thing into overtime to get a shot to win. Dake is effectively up too, so he is just going to run away. The ref will eventually hit him for stalling, but Kyle Dake is not going to engage until that stalling call is made. Dake just got hit for stalling as they went out of bounds here, but there's only 3 seconds left on this restart. Taylor tries to move forward on this restart, but he sees that Dake is really not going to let him do anything. The match ends. Kyle Dake is going to win this one 5-4 for his 4th NCAA title in 4 different weight classes. History is made here. So the brilliance in this match for me really comes from Kyle Dake. Once he gets that lead, he really had a great game plan for how to shut David Taylor down. He knew how to slow down that crazy attack rate that David Taylor had. I also think that he really caught David Taylor off guard with how good of a ride he put on David Taylor. I don't think that Taylor was expecting Dake to put on such a stingy ride in this match. So I think Taylor probably thought he'd have a minute 45 to a minute 30 to work for another takedown to try to take the lead, when in fact he only ended up with 20 seconds, and it just took him totally out of the match. The other also incredible thing about this is that David Taylor is now a 2-time world champion and an Olympic champion, while Kyle Dake is a 4-time world champion in 2 different weight classes. These guys went on to be 2 of the best American wrestlers ever, and they wrestled each other for an NCAA title. It really is pretty historic and a really cool thing that happened. Again, I cannot iterate the fact enough that these 2 guys were the 2 best wrestlers in the country in the NCAA when they wrestled each other. It was a phenomenal matchup. It's a ton of fun to go back and watch this match now after seeing how much success both of these guys have had on the international level. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications. It's going to help my channel out a ton. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.